If you're shooting portrait mode with your phone, knock that shit off. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I've shot over 40 feature films, and not one of them was shot in portrait mode. Unless you count Serial Rabbit 5, where I had a couple of shots specifically to make fun of portrait mode.
Could you turn your camera longwise? You're shooting in portrait, and it's kind of annoying.
Video shot in portrait mode is crap. Plain and simple. It's annoying, and it's the first sign of someone who is lazy and doesn't give a shit. But Brett, it's just so easy to hold my phone like this. Oh really? Easier to hold your phone like this than this? Some have argued about the social media canvas like the gram. Well, I'm here to tell you I don't care if it looked good on the gram. On every other platform, it looks like crap. And when I shoot something, I'm not shooting it for just one single place. I'm looking for all sorts of venues. And if you capture that hottest, most controversial happening on your phone, it's going to be on news outlets all across the world. And instead of having good video that fills the entire frame, now the editor has to take your crappy video, stick it on his timeline, make a duplicate layer, blow it up to fill the screen, and then drop a blur filter on it, increase the blur to an aesthetically pleasing level, all just to try and make your video look a little less like the piece of shit that it is. Look, there's a reason video is widescreen. When film first came about, the aspect ratio was more square, but it was still a bit more wide than it was tall. It was 4 units across and 3 units up, hence the 4:3 aspect ratio. Then TV came along and kept that aspect ratio, but people were staying home and watching TV rather than going to the movies. So Hollywood had to offer the audience something else. So they went to a different aspect ratio, a wider image, giving us 16:9. Why did they go wider instead of taller? Because that's how we see. As human beings, we naturally see more horizontally than vertically. Hold your hands out to your side so that you can't see them. Now, slowly close your arms. It's not that long before you can see your hands, right? Now, hold your arms out vertically and start bringing them down into your field of view. By the time you finally see your hands, they're a lot closer together, aren't they? That's why widescreen is more attractive to us, why it's more pleasing. It's how we naturally view the world. If you're old enough to remember the 4:3 TV sets, you'll also remember when you went to the video store and rented a movie, you had the option of getting some movies letterboxed. When I worked at Blockbuster Video in the mid-90s, there were 2 questions I got more than anything else. The first,
do you know that movie that's like Clue, but it's not?
Yeah.
Do you have that one?
Reservoir Dogs. It's Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
But the second was,
What does letterbox mean?
and as well as I try to explain it,
It's the aspects ratio where it stretches the screen in order to show the full version.
I'd always be met with glossed over eyes.
What the director had intended.
Oh, the one with the bars on top?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Now, a few of us appreciated it because we got the full image, but most of you found those bars really annoying. Now think about that crappy portrait video you just shot. Well, guess what? We have to do the same damn thing. We have to slap those bars up. So now you've got all that crappy black on both sides of the video. It's crap, it's lazy, and it's a sign of a person who cares only about themselves rather than the peace and well-being of others. I hate you with the fiery passion of a million burning suns. And your value as a human being, in my eyes, is greatly diminished. So, please stop shooting in portrait mode. Now, if you're a filmmaker, you really should never shoot in portrait mode.
Can you rotate your camera? You're filming a portrait right now and it's really annoying.
I mean, one of the most common questions people ask when starting out is, how do I make my movies look like film? Well, film has a particular aspect ratio. Of course, there's 16:9, but you also need to be aware of other wider formats. You remember how Hollywood was trying to offer people something different from TV? Well, they also needed to compete against each other. So they kept making wider and wider formats. Some were a bit much. Some settled in as our standard aspect ratios, be it 178, 185, 235, or 240. You'll probably be shooting in 16:9 or slightly higher, but when you edit your film, edit on a 235 or 240 timeline. You'll get a much more cinematic looking image. Just remember to shoot knowing that you'll be cropping the image. And when you do start a new editing project, don't create a sequence in 16:9 and just throw bars on them. When you do, you're creating a larger file and forcing your compressor to deal with all those extra pixels and data. Instead, create a new timeline with the correct pixel settings, set to the aspect ratio you want to have. So that's aspect ratio 101, and that should be everything you need to know. Well, aside from another reminder to never shoot portrait mode.
Can you just turn the phone like sideways? You're holding it up straight up and down and it's just like, it's really annoying.